Olivia, will you take it away?
Of course. The female 2015 World Cup is well underway, but we can't forget about 2014's World Cup and the winning team, USA.
Even though they came in first last year, it came with a cost. Star player Whitney Cook was terribly injured.
During the final quarter of the World Cup, Cook learned to kick the ball and slid forward, then fell onto the side, causing a tear in her ACL. Then trying to get up and recover the ball, she tore her meniscus.
Let's take a look back.
When I originally tore my ACL, I thought I had done a more critical injury. So, shattering my kneecap. When I went down, there was 3 distinct pops that I heard. When I tried to get back up, my knee couldn't support my weight, so I went right back down. I went to the hospital later that night, and they took x-rays and said everything seemed to be fine except for a dislocated kneecap. But I knew it had to be something more serious. I was so devastated because we were just so close to playing in the World Cup, and I had to injure myself. I don't know what I was going to do.
What a heartbreaking story, don't you think, Ashley?
Very. Now let's talk to the doctor that has treated Whitney for the past year.
When I first began treating Whitney, I found out pretty quickly that she's a very, very determined person. From day one, she told me I had to do anything I had to do to get her back to playing soccer. Whitney's the type of person who doesn't want to let her team down, who wants to be there for them, and who will work harder than any patient I've ever had to make it to next year's World Cup.
So, doctor, tell us what your ACL is and how you can tear it.
And if there's any way from preventing tearing your ACL.
Your ACL, or your anterior cruciate ligament, is one of the 4 main stabilizing ligaments in your leg. You can injure your ACL in many different ways because it's made of a slightly elastic fibristic tissue that ruptures and breaks really easily. It's easily injured during sports, walking upstairs, anything. There's really nothing you can do to stop or prevent an ACL injury. When you tear your ACL, there's not a lot of options. Really, the only choice for you is surgery.
During this arthroscopic procedure, your surgeon will make a few incisions around your knee, through which he or she will insert surgical instruments, including a camera. The camera will transmit images to a TV monitor, which the surgeon will view during the procedure. First, your surgeon will remove the remaining portions of your torn ACL from your knee. Then your surgeon will remove part of your patellar tendon to use as the graft or obtain donor tissue. Your surgeon will create attachment points for the graft by drilling a small tunnel in the end of your tibia, then another at the end of your femur. Your surgeon will place one end of the patellar tendon graft in the tibial tunnel. Then he or she will pull the graft up through the knee joint and into the femoral tunnel to create a new ACL tendon. Finally, your surgeon will place small screws in the tunnels at either end of the new ACL to hold it in place.
Thank you, doctor.
Now let's watch this video of the previously recorded of Whitney Cook and her recovery.
I went to get an MRI probably, 2 or 3 weeks later, and it came back with negative, I guess you could say, because I had completely torn the ACL, along with both of the meniscus. I went into surgery on May 28th, and it was only pretty much a 4-hour surgery, actually. It didn't take too long. I had a pain block in for 48 hours, meaning I couldn't feel anything. Once my pain block wore off, then I started to feel some pain. I took medicine that was prescribed to me, but it made me sick, so I figured dealing with the pain was better. I had to wear a horrible brace, terrible brace, it was terrible, and an ACE bandage, which I hated. I go to physical therapy 4 times a week, more than the average person would ever go in their lifetime, just so I can play. Let's go, USA!
That was the 2014 Female World Cup, and against all odds, Whitney Cook is playing tonight in the ESP game, playing center against Germany for the 2015 World Cup.
Wow, what a quick recovery.
Bobby, and he wants to be quiet.